and welcome to the first ever 5 Tips and Tricks for Careers in Athletics podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Morey Mossovitz, and I'm joined today by my co-host, Jen Albanese. Welcome, Jen.
Hello, how are you? I'm so excited to be here.
Can you believe we're already doing this?
I cannot believe we're actually here. We are
This
here.
has been a process. We got to it.
I know. I'm so excited. I'm so honored that I'm a part of this. This is so awesome.
Well, when I was talking about doing it and you said, hey, would you have interest in a co-host? I was pretty excited because, to be honest, I had no interest in doing this by myself. So it worked out really well when you're like, hey, would you like to be in a podcast?
Well,
can I be in your podcast? Probably more like it.
Yeah, no, it was just, I've always loved podcasts. Actually, like the last few years, I've really gotten into them and I was like, you know what, I could do this. This is so cool. And to be able to talk about stuff that we know so much about, it's just awesome. So I'm so excited to be here. This is going to be so much fun and excited to do this with you. So
I know I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to us connecting with people that we've known across the world of athletics and like reconnecting. That's been one of like the coolest things is prepping for this and thinking about all the different people that we're going to talk to. So I feel like it's pretty exciting that we got it to this point.
I know it's going to be so great to catch up with people. And that's the thing about athletics. You make so many connections and it spans so far and wide. It's going to be really awesome. So it's going to be good.
Super excited.
So maybe we'll tell everybody about what the podcast is and what they can expect when they listen.
Yeah. So the 5 Tips and Tricks podcast is what it says. We are going to go every week and interview someone in the field of athletics across all different types, pro, recreational, in college, and ask them 5 tips and tricks that they have for people that are interested in the field, try and focus on the areas that they've been in their own experience. So the 4 questions, they get to give those tricks. And then every week, the 5th question is going to be what I think is super important is, what do you know now that you wish you knew before you started your job? Like at the very beginning, and give that advice to those people that didn't, that are coming up.
Yeah. And I wish I had something like this when I was coming up, because this is really going to help anybody really out there, whether they're students in high school or in college, or anybody just trying to figure out, if athletics is the right field for them. Hopefully this can help in a way to give them an insight into what it's all about and what it takes to get into it. So it's going to be really
I'm
great.
also hoping that those people that are actually in the field are also going to be like, oh, I know that person, or I'm really interested in that area, because we're trying to pick up a lot of people across and get that kind of, oh my gosh, how neat, or pick up some things for their own jobs, whether they're in marketing, but they are doing stuff in events or whatever, that they can take and turn into part of their job, and hopefully just enjoy listening and watching what we're doing.
And always learn themselves. Like, we're going to learn so much. I'm excited to learn so much from doing this as well. So let's get started.
I know this is super exciting. I can't believe that we're here. I do have to throw out there though, before I started, I got a lot of feedback from family. So one of the things that I think Jen and I have to be straightforward on is that we are actually related. We've worked together for 15 years, believe it or not. That doesn't,
we don't look that old.
No, we don't look that old, but I was getting a lot of feedback. One was that my mother said that I have to use Dr. Morey Mossovitz. That was an ongoing thing, that I can't just be.
That's very impressive, Dr. Morey. That's how I have to address him now. So, it's very important.
It makes me feel like it's so small. Like I just don't want to do it. And she's like, well, then people won't know that you've done all this. And so I did throw in doctor at the beginning. So if you're listening, I did put that in for you. I don't know if I'm going to keep it.
She is so proud of you. She is so proud of you. We are all proud of you.
Oh, very much appreciated. But that was worse. And then the second one is that my father said that I need to fix the bags under my eyes, which was a great comment. I felt super excited about that. I have these giant bags under my eyes, and that's going to come out as I talk publicly, because I don't usually like to talk publicly. So I am very self-conscious about what's going on. And knowing your parents, I'm really surprised that they didn't say that you have anything going on with your body or anything in
Yeah. Well,
particular.
I mean, that's what parents are for, right? They're just the motivators to tell you the truth all the way around. But
Is that motivation or is that just somewhat stifling?
well, I think they think it's motivation, I think that's how they get away with it. But no, my parents are, wanted to make sure that the setup looked good. I didn't look too
I
much
think you look
light, not
great.
enough light. Well, thank you. That the biggest accomplishment for this episode is that everything is set up right and working. I got the headphones, I got everything working. So, hey, we're on the right track. So
I know
hopefully
on our demo episodes, your husband's like, she sounds like she's in a tunnel. She's really wet. So we had to fix that. We've gone through all of our tech check.
Yeah, they're just so encouraging. We just gotta love
No.
our families. They're so encouraging.
And I'm sure people are going to hear about them over time because we do bring that into a lot of our stories. And hopefully that'll be something that people can appreciate about what's going on here.
Yes,
So
hopefully bring a little comedy to it as well, which will be nice because it's good that we are related through marriage and not only related, like I said, but good friends and are going to enjoy doing this together and working on this. So
and crazy that we've been colleagues for so long and just do things like the nice part about our relationship is we are doing leading two different parts of working in athletics, but we collaborate so well together even before we were related.
Yeah.
And we also know a lot of the same people. Some of the people we don't know of each other. So we're going to be excited to bring in people that we don't know of the others and surprise a little bit to people new, but we do have a lot of people we know in common. So that's super exciting. And this is going to be awesome.
Yeah, I'm excited. I am excited.
So with that, we're going to take a break and be right back after this message. If you're enjoying this podcast, please follow us on your favorite podcast streaming service. The 5 Tips and Tricks podcast is a part of Athletic Career Consulting, a group focused on educating and guiding high school and college students looking towards careers in athletics. To find out more, go to our website at www.athcareer.com. That's ATHCAREER.
All right, everybody, we are back on the 5 Tips and Tricks podcast. In our first episode, excited to get this started, Morey. And I think maybe we tell everybody a little bit about ourselves and kind of our journeys and how we got to where we are today.
Yeah, I mean, on every episode, the first thing we're going to do after we kind of talk and intro the start is to talk about bios of the people that we're going to be interviewing. So we might as well start with ourselves and how we're connected to athletics. So I currently work, like Jen, in a Power 5 athletic department. Got started in athletics actually by being a manager for men's lacrosse at a school and just really made connections and didn't know that I wanted to be in athletics until I had this experience and got to know a lot of people, got a lot of experience. I spent some time working in academics and then worked into and currently oversee facilities and event operations and have worked into in administration like yourselves and have done a lot of different things and more senior roles, now. And that's how I've been involved in athletics. And then I also took time, as we talked about, and got my doctorate. And I'm very excited.
Very proud of you.
And that was a concentration in athletics. I did a lot of studying in education and how that affects athletics. And that's what my doctoral degree is. So it's been great. And I've had a great experience in athletics. So just looking forward to continuing this on and what's going on. So Jen, tell everybody how you got to this point in athletics.
Sure. So I went to a smaller D2 school and they didn't have any like sport management or anything like that as a major. So I decided to, be a marketing major, learn as much as I could with that. But realized that sports was kind of the area I wanted to go in. And obviously the long ago when I was doing this, again, don't look that old, but realized that the way to do it was to get as much experience as possible. So I interned with a minor league baseball team. I interned at a college, and I got to see so many different things. In minor league baseball, you
You do everything.
You do everything. I mean, I did everything from working in the merchandise store to doing cold calls to pulling the tarp to dancing with the mascots. So just a lot of great experience. And that was where I learned a lot in minor league baseball. And I realized that, that kind of solidified that I wanted to be in sports. And then I got the opportunity to work at a Division I university, which has been awesome. And I've been able to grow there and started as a marketing coordinator. And now I'm an assistant athletic director for marketing and fan experience. So, I oversee a department. I manage 20 plus sports and their game day experience, work with a lot of different departments, including Morey and his facilities team. So it's been a great experience the last 15 years. I've learned a lot, made mistakes, but learned from those mistakes.
It's just part of it.
And I think that, and everybody has to understand that,
Yeah.
that it's okay to make mistakes, and really have grown and try to challenge myself, even in the last year, taking on some more administrative roles,
Right.
and overseeing, our spirit program. So it's been a really great journey, obviously bumps in the road and, tough parts, but I wouldn't change it because I love where I'm at right now, and it's been a great thing. So,
well, it's been
so,
a
yeah.
great time for the last 15 years working with you.
I know.
And
Thanks.
we've got to have this wonderful experience basically together.
Yeah.
Getting into the next part of the program, we're going to demo what it's like to have the interview questions. So I'm going to take the first one. So Jen and I are going to pretend to be one guest, and I'm going to take the first one. Jen's going to take the second two, do the third one, fourth one, and I'm going to do she's going to do the fifth one. Wow, that was really poorly communicated. Sorry, everybody.
It's all right.
So
okay.
We're going to show you what it's like to be, but we're going to tag team this. So for the first tip that I have is one that I actually talk a lot about in a class that I teach. I also teach a class at a university, and it's dress for the job that you want, not the job that you have, and how you present yourself. And it's really, you want to present things to the world, and working in college athletics, sometimes you forget that, to be honest. I have to check myself, because you can easily go in the same polo shirt with branding on it, or throw on something that's a little bit more sporty and get away with it. But sometimes you want to just make sure that you're presenting yourself in a way that connects with what you're doing. So I am really conscious of what meetings I have during the day and what I'm trying to do. Being in facilities and events a lot of the times with part of my job, I do also look about, okay, I got to help set this up, or I'm going to be running around a lot. But if I have a big meeting, I'm meeting with big administration, I'm in with senior staff, I want to put on something that presents who I am. And honestly, Jen, I will say you are probably one of the best dressed professionals that you definitely get the A game in dressing.
Thank you. Yeah, I did win that in high school. Best dressed.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that either.
Let's not forget about that. Best dressed in high school. Okay.
I mean, the heels are definitely a part of it. If you know Jen, she's, I think, called vertically challenged. Is that the right word to go out?
I'm shorter. Okay. So I'm able to rock a little bit of a heel, but I have to say, as I've gotten older, heels are now only reserved for when I'm doing, like major things, like if I'm doing anything on the court at basketball, or
I was going to say
have
court
a big
events.
meeting. Yeah. So, as you get older, the feet need a little bit of a break. But I totally agree with that, because especially in an athletic department, you see coaches in like sweats and warm-ups, and, you
Right.
kind of can fall into that. And it is important to always present yourself almost for that next job that you want.
Right. And a lot of kids coming out of college, I think, like, especially if you're working in a department and you're like used to doing that, and you might go to like a pro venue or another professional area, sales or something in athletics, medicine, like your expectation is going to have to match. Like, you really should know what you need to look like, how you're going to present yourself, like how you're approaching things. And I think people forget like what the read is when a kid comes to do like an interview for us and they're dressed in like a ratty t-shirt. I'm like, what was going on in their minds?
And that's the first impression you're making, that's not a great one. So that's important too. So the dressing for success is such a good tip that I think people forget, especially in the world that we're living in with a lot of work from home positions,
Right.
and that kind of stuff where, you're dressed up on top, but you got sweatpants on the, so I think people forget about that when they're in
Right.
person, that, you got to dress for your part, which is important. So
I did say when I was thinking about this topic, I do continue to think like Jen comes in with these like pristine dresses that are color coded, and yeah, if you're out in public and where we work in our college setting, she will be asked, "Are you the woman that's out there on the court doing stuff?" Everyone,
I do get
she
that
gets
a lot.
noticed. She has like a fan base going. So
no fan base, but I do
Yeah.
get. Are you the girl that does
Yeah.
this? Yeah, that's me. That would.
There's
be
a
me.
lot of modesty there. There
That'd
is
be
a
me.
fan base.
Okay, so my tip would be, and I'd say this to all of my interns, all of my staff, whenever you're going on an interview, whether in person, on the phone, on Zoom, always introduce yourself or answer the phone with your name. One of my biggest pet peeves is if I'm on an interview with somebody and I call them and they answer, they're like, hello? Like they don't even realize that they're going on an interview or like that's happening. You should answer, hello, this is Jen. Or good morning, this is Jen, to know that you're ready for the interview, that you're serious about it, and that you're prepared to talk to somebody. And that just sets you apart from so many other students or interns or anybody looking for jobs, that you're prepared and you're ready for it. And I know it's like the smallest little thing, but
well, it is a big thing. I mean, it's something that you need to show that you're capable and that you're prepared, especially going to interview. But I do have to throw in there when we're talking about on the phone, Jen has something that has driven me crazy for years. So Jen has been married for what are we on, 5 years now?
6
years. She has not changed her voicemail from her maiden name. So every time I get her voicemail, I actually say, I think I have the wrong number. I'm supposed to be talking to her Jen Albanese, not her maiden name, and she has refused to change it for probably 2 years now.
There's really no refusal. It's more of just I'm lazy and I don't even think about changing it. Like I just don't. So you know what? Okay, everybody listening, you're going to hold me accountable. I am going to change the voicemail on my phone. We will let you know in the next episode that I have changed my voicemail.
If she has not done it, everyone go and do a campaign that we need to fix this voicemail. It's been an ongoing issue for me for years. I would appreciate the support of others. I've tried to get her staff involved. They have let me out of it. Like I cannot get the masses to come to this. So, but
all right,
but
you're
change
hold
your
me accountable. You're going to hold me accountable here.
Introduce yourself, say your name, your correct name, and also change your voicemail. That's the two things we're adding. It's a 2-for-1 special on this tip.
And that is the tip, to say your name and say your right name, I guess. So there you go. It just sets you apart. The way I look at it is it sets you apart and it makes you feel, and it makes the person interviewing you feel that you're ready for the interview and you're prepared for it. So I mean, that's my tip.
When we were prepping for this and we talked about it, it is something that now comes to my mind. It's like, you're using your phone all the time. The first thing is like, hi, Morey Mossovitz, or hello, or however you're going to do it. But it is easy to kind of be out of that mode. And as it being a professional, you got to make sure if people are calling, it does set you apart.
Yeah, especially if you know that you're going to get on this call. Like, okay, the interview's at 10 a.m. and I'm calling you at 10 o'clock. It's not your mom calling or your best friend. I'm calling to interview you.
Right. If you don't know that number, you should be saying, hi, this is.
Right, exactly. And that takes practice, but it's also a good thing to remember, especially as you're starting in any industry, to be prepared for any sort of interviews or meetings with people. So
good tip. Okay. Yeah. Second one. Right.
So my
third one.
So my second, but the third of the episode. And this is something that I've learned too, is to make sure you understand the industry that you want to go into.
Good tip.
And hopefully this podcast, if you're interested in athletics or sports in general, can help you understand the industry a little bit better. Again, like I said earlier, I wish there was something like this when I was in college to be able to do the research to really understand what the sports industry is, because I think that there's a lot of misconceptions. And I know, Morey, you can attest to this too. Like, it's, hey, I'm going to stand on the sidelines at a football game and just hang out and watch the game and post some stuff on my social media, or I'm going to sit courtside at basketball, or I'm going to be up in a suite entertaining people. Now, there's parts of that in the job,
Right.
but there's many other things that go into working in sports or a career in athletics.
I mean, the thing I always think of, there's a big difference between being a fan and being a professional. And that's really the one that you always have to talk to, especially when we have young staff.
Absolutely, because they've grown up as fans. You know, we get that a lot. Like, oh, I'm a fan. I'm so excited to be here. And that's great. You obviously want to have that buy-in of whatever team you're working for, or athletic department you're in. But you have to understand that you're there to do a job. And that's part of it. So really understanding the industry and understanding the area you want to go into, whether it's marketing or facilities or athletic communications or fundraising or sponsorship or ticket sales or premium sales or whatever that could be, understanding that all of those areas are different, and to do that research and really give yourself that knowledge, because again, that sets you apart too. When you're talking in an interview, you're talking in a, you're looking at a college or university, and you can explain to them exactly what you're looking for.
I mean, when you get those informational interviews or you have those dialogues with those kids and they're like, I really want to do marketing. And you go, oh, like, what parts are you interested in? They're like, oh, I don't really know about marketing. It's kind of surprising.
Yeah, because and there's a lot of different areas within marketing. Like, take marketing, like you said, for example, like marketing can be placing advertising, doing social media, doing game experience, doing sponsorship. There's a lot of areas of marketing. So knowing the areas, and again, it's not, you have to have everything figured out right in the beginning, but at least be able to understand what it is and want to try it and learn from it. So
yeah. And also, as like you're in that experience, because I mean, I know I kind of filter out the resumes for even interns if they're not kind of tracked towards what I'm looking for. Like if they're not putting in the effort, volunteering, doing things, making connections that are in that stream of what I'm doing on a day-to-day basis. So like, you're not going to go and pick up a kid who's been doing production changeovers for, the last 2 years to start all of a sudden being marketing necessarily in a position where you only have, 2 or 3 openings, and you have all these kids that have put on these amazing, marketing strategies. Same way, like if they said, oh, I have a marketing kid that was out there doing, handing out t-shirts and doing stuff. And they're saying, hey, all of a sudden I want to know how to run a game, like from a scoreboard operations. It's just, I got 100 other kids that have done that. And it's something that I can more easily fit them into.
Right. So I think that's part of it too. And not only understanding, but getting the experience too. And I know we'll touch on this, and every probably guest will say experience is an important tip.
And networking.
And networking. Yeah, those will be the big two. But that experience is where in internships you can try all the different things, so that when you get to a job or a full-time internship, you're not bouncing between different things, and then you can focus on the areas that you really want to be in. Focus on that one area.
And like you said, if you are prepared for that interview and know your industry, it's going to be a lot smoother to have those conversations.
Yeah. And then you're going to learn more from that too. And then your interviewer will also learn about you and what experiences that you have, and know that you're prepared and you really are invested in this industry and in a career. So
awesome.
I love it.
Good tip. Good job. Good job.
Thank you. All right, Morey. All right.
So what do you know now that you wish you knew when you started working in athletics? And, for me, I really felt Jen can attest, I'm a little bit of an anxious person. I always feel like I need to do things. I think I thought I needed to know everything when I started, that, you have this expectation that you want to be this professional and you have to know what you're doing. And the truth be told is, you have to grow into that and you have to learn. I don't think anyone has the expectation that you know everything. There's certain things that you should be aware of, definitely. And to get a job, you need to put yourself in a position that you've got enough experience. But the person that I came into my job as and developed, and now the person of what I'm doing now is such a different person. And it's because I've got that experience. And I don't think I should have put the pressure on myself to be like, okay, I have to have known everything. I mean, know as much as you can, but don't feel like if you don't exactly know the entire span of everything, you're doing it wrong.
Right. Because you're not going to ever know everything right in the beginning. Like you're just not. And that's okay. Like
I don't
said
know everything now. I mean,
I don't, so neither do I. No one's ever going to know everything. And you're always going to learn. You're always going to grow. And you're always going to make mistakes. I said that earlier too. Like it's okay to make mistakes. And it's okay not to know everything right off the bat. It kind of gives you that edge too, to be a little bit of, want to learn. You want to be able
right.
to have that drive to learn more. So.
And I think so much of what we do is by seeing what happens to the people above us. I know the mentors that I've had and seeing, the things that they do really well and how they've done them. Sometimes I've even, and not against anyone that's been a mentor to me, but seen things that, I don't know if I exactly do it that way, and growth 100%, from that has 100%. Changed completely how I'm doing things. And some of it is, by the way, the industry has changed and they've done stuff an old way. And I go, I think I can put these things together of different things that I've seen people do. And that's going to be the way I'm going to do it. Yeah. And you can't do that without the experience and just knowing it and going through the process.
Right. You see the good and the bad of, whether it's leaders or leadership above you that you've gone through. You take the good things and you say, that's, how I want to be a better leader or how I want to better myself. But then, like you said, that's not what I want to do. And you learn from that too. And that just comes with experience. Like you said, it's not something
there's no way you can know that from day one.
No, you're not going to know that from an internship that you did in college or, doing a volunteer or a shadowing project, something like that. You're not going to learn that right off the bat. And that's okay. And you have to be okay with that.
I will put the clause on there that there should be basic skills that you should get to know, and you should talk to your supervisor to make sure like that you have those locked down, even if you're in an entry level position. But definitely, know what are the key things that I should be targeting in the level that I am at. And try and, put yourself on where you're at and doing those things really well. Because once you master those, going to the next step becomes so much easier. And then it just starts going one after the other where you get those experiences that work really well.
Yeah. Every experience is a good experience. That's how
exactly.
You have to look at it. So that's a good one, Morey. That's a good one. Okay. So for me, something that I wish I knew then that I know now, it's to off the bat, understand that you need to have a work-life balance. Yeah. And I know that's easier said than done when you're right out of college or you're right out of high school and you just like, go, go, go. I want to do everything. I want to be everywhere. I want to be at everything. And I was like that. I'll admit it. I'm sure, Morey, you were like that. Like we were all
sometimes
like that.
I'm still like that.
I do have to remind him sometimes that he has 2 kids at home. But, to know that from the beginning, I think will help you be able to set better boundaries in your life and have that separation so that you can do your job better. Having the work-life balance helps you do your job better, helps you be a better leader, helps you be a better employee. And when you burn the candle at both ends and you do too much, you hurt yourself. So
you're not producing as well as you probably could.
No.
I will say though, and you can say I'm wrong and, it's fine, but I don't think the industry of most of the industry of athletics is supportive of that. Not because of choice, but just because of how it's set up, that it's
100% agree with you. Yeah.
It's a 7-day-a-week operation. It's, we need to get a hold of you in different ways. It just kind of, we're not doctors. We're not saving lives. We're doing really great things. It's really cool, but the industry does put a lot of pressure on being successful, in whatever part you're there of trying to win championships or be successful or support the athletes that are involved or, being an athlete. Like it is hard sometimes to get out of that mindset.
Yeah. And you're right. Like it could be a 24/7 job. But I think that's just more for you to be able to set that boundary, because in the end, people will respect you more, and want to work with you more if they know that you have boundaries. Now I know there's like moments in when we work that it is something that you have to answer an email at 11 o'clock at night
Right.
or a phone call at 6 in the morning, but that's in any job. But you have to be able to set it apart. And it's as simple as saying, I don't answer emails after 8 o'clock, or, you
Right.
know, and it's those little things that if you start that right off the bat, it's going to be easier as you progress, not only in your professional career, but in your personal life too. When you start, you know, finding your significant other, the person you want to spend the rest of your life with, or if you have children, or if you do have other projects in your life that you want to do, like, then you're able to do those. And you have already set that boundary. So that's something that I wish I would have known.
I also would put out there for young professionals that are starting to become supervisors, like, you really should look for this in your staff. You and I, Jen and I, have had a lot of conversations about talking to our staff and trying to help them, because as a supervisor, there's a point where you see that these people are becoming unproductive,
Right.
and you really want to catch it before it gets there. And I think it's a really good point of, like, cultivating for those people underneath of you. This, what you're saying is a balance.
And you're setting that example for them. So, like, okay, the workday ends at 5 o'clock. You leave at 5 o'clock,
right,
at the same time that they should leave, so that you're also setting that example. Like, you know, you talk the talk, you know, and walk the walk.
Walk the walk. I will say in facilities and events, a little harder sometimes, because
I know,
but marketing too. Like, you have to be but taking the time, I think, is the thing. Is to show them that you're taking time, and to tell them they need to take the time too. And
when we are able to do that, to actually do it, you know what I mean? Like, okay, if it's April right now and things are a little bit slower, like,
take your time.
Take your time. So that's, I think, the thing that I wish I knew, but hopefully you get to learn that from listening to this podcast. So
exactly. Well, I feel like that's a great place to start wrapping it up. I can't believe we've got number 1 in the books.
Listen, we made it through. We made it through, Morey. We're doing good. We did it.
So coming up, we're going to have some awesome guests. Please make sure, listen, follow us. We really want to keep doing this and have people enjoy our experience. And we have some great people we're trying to line up, and we're going to keep having those, and definitely spend the time to, if you have suggestions of people, or if you're a professional out there that might want to help, might want to come on and talk to us. We'd love to talk to all different peoples out there. Follow us on all your favorite podcast stations, start following our social media. We want to engage with you, and, throw us questions. We're talking about maybe doing a questions episode every once in a while. So definitely connect with us, because we're looking to connect with you.
Yeah, this is awesome. I'm very excited, and looking forward to this journey with you, Morey. So thank you for having me.
Thank you for being here.
Absolutely. Absolutely. This is going to be a lot of fun, and can't wait for the next episode.
Absolutely. See everybody soon, and we'll talk to you soon.
Bye.
If you like the 5 Tips and Tricks podcast, make sure to subscribe on your favorite podcast platform. You can rate and review us, including questions that may be answered on future episodes. The 5 Tips and Tricks podcast for careers in athletics is part of Athletic Career Consulting. Check us out at www.athcareer.com. Don't forget to follow and like us on your top social media platforms.